Hey Love Bugs, welcome back. Um, so it's been a minute. It's the 15th of April, and I haven't done our inspirational quote of the month. I was going to film it the end of March. That didn't happen, of course. And then Easter was on April 1st, so that still didn't happen. I fell. I don't have the bruise anymore, but I do have the mark. I don't know if you can see it. That mark right there. I fell on the stairs and injured my rib and my arm. And then I came down with bronchitis. And so that was fun. And I've had some other personal, things happen other than that. But sorry, I'm messing with my hair because I haven't had it this long in a while. So I'm just kind of messing with it, trying to get it to work for me. Anyway, so this month, because it fits personally in my life, I figured I would do this quote by Confucius. It says, "It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop." Confucius. And so, sorry, I'm just marking off the month. But, April has been a crazy month for me and my husband and my family and several people around me. Sorry, you were being supported by this chapstick container, because you were falling. But I still had this urge to. Oh, you like my picture, by the way? I have a little bit of ADD today. I still had this urge to just, I've got to do the motivational quote of the month. I have to. I committed to this. I've done it for 3 months straight. I've got to do it again. As long as it gets up in April. I've got it. I gotta. And I was not giving up on myself. I wouldn't let myself give up. I'm trying to get this out for you guys. Yes, it's the 15th. Yes, it's over 2 weeks late. Yes, we all know that I don't work well under pressure. But, it says it doesn't matter how slowly you go. 2 weeks late, it's slow, but I still kept going. And I didn't stop wanting to film this. Things got thrown in my face, falling on the stairs, and Easter going around, or Easter stuff, and bronchitis, and allergies, and just one thing after another, after another, after another. Our refrigerator gives out one day. We have a new one, thankfully, so that's good. Sorry, I feel like I have something in my tooth, but I don't. It's just weird. Anyway, I guess it's the angle it was. Yeah, it's just the angle. Okay, so, but just things kept getting thrown at me, trying to get things done and trying to get things to do things and not being able to, and physically not being able to speak and just not feeling good, and just everything was just kind of going out of control. And that didn't stop me. I've been planning something huge for my husband and I, that something has gotten delayed, and I had a bad panic attack yesterday. I literally organized basically everything last night. I could not. And for those of you who know me, you know that when I have an out of control thought, or if I've been planning something, I have OCD, I'm a perfectionist, I'm a planner, I have fear of failure. Yeah. So, with all that being said, I was having a hard time letting this thing happen, because something that we're planning in May depended on something that's been delayed from stuff. And so I meticulously was planning, okay, we've got to get this done, I've got to get that done, we have to buy these things, we have to do this thing. I have to, we're going, at the end of May, we're going to go to Florida, and go spend time with family. And, there's a certain paycheck that didn't hit yet, was going to be a little bit late. And so everything that was riding on that certain paycheck was going to have to be delayed and halted and all that. And when I've already mapped out everything, and I know the dates, and I knew the dates, and I knew exactly when I was going to do what with what we had. And then all of that had to get rearranged, and that didn't work out. So now I had to rearrange all of that information, and it sent me into a tizzy, because I have been planning this I have been planning this trip since March. Okay? March, now it's April. Beginning of March. So March 1st is when I really was like, okay, we're going. And I booked everything. So, all of this information was going to hit, all this stuff was going to be set up and put in line, and that didn't happen. And so now we're having to wait. It should be okay by the time sorry, my hair is doing something weird. It should be okay by the time, May comes around. Everything will be adjusted and stuff. But it was just, I was going to focus X amount of money from this paycheck on X, Y, and Z for the trip. And the next paycheck was going to be the X, Y, and Z of that trip. And so forth. And so, for a little bit for the rest, And I couldn't do that with the delayed check that didn't go through or whatever. So I was freaking out, and I was having a meltdown, and I was having to rebudget things and put things on this week, that I was going to wait until the next time, for that planned paycheck, the delayed paycheck. I'd budgeted out for that stuff, on a certain day, because we leave a certain day, and it was supposed to come in before that date, before our leaving date. So everything was getting delayed, and everything was getting frustrating, and so the things that I was holding off for the paycheck that's gotten delayed now have to kind of be worked into the paychecks that are going to be here before that one, and worked in. And so I was having a panic attack, and I was freaking out. I literally almost had my throat close up on me. But thankfully Alex understood, I was freaking out. Everything had to be organized, and I had to organize something. I could not control the fact that there was a delay. I could not control the fact that something was happening. I couldn't control that. But what I could control were certain things around me. So the pictures and some of the books that I have 3 scrapbooks that I had to finish that I just hadn't had the opportunity to do. So I ended up finishing my scrapbooks and getting, I mean, those are my art cards. I can't point. You see them. But I had to have all of those organized. Most of them were already organized. There were still some things that I needed to put away. Okay. So all of that had to get organized. And you guys keep following. Okay. So I had to get that organized, and then my bookshelf needed organizing. I could see that it was still disorganized, and I was just like frustrated over it. And just things that were within my control, I had to just organize and control and make it manageable. So, you know, going back to the quote of the month, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. So, as much as I wanted all of this to be done at a certain time, it's not going to get done by my time frame. Plain and simple. It's not going to be done in my time frame. It's going to happen when it happens, and it'll be alright. You know? I just have to adjust, and I have to keep going. I have to just let it happen the way it needs to happen, and I need to just work around it. Just replan and reorganize. That's why I make itineraries, and that's why I make lists and budgets, and that's why I make, you know, charts and flow charts and all these things. My husband will tell you that the biggest thing he hates, but also the thing he loves about me, is how organized I am. And how, as much as he hates taking the time to help me sit down and think about what we need and write down everything we need and, you know, get everything done that way, he appreciates it when it comes time to implement it. So when we went up to Tennessee in November last year, for his birthday, you know, I'm getting a bunch of notifications from YouTube for videos. Anyway, but because I had planned out to a T, okay, this is where our money is going to be spent, this is how long it's going to take, this is where we're going to be, and because I'd had all of that, it didn't, you know, he appreciated it, you know, packing meticulously, you know, going over, okay, what are we missing, what do we need to buy, what do we have, what do we need to buy, what are we gonna get there, you know, and making sure we had everything. He really appreciated that when it came down time for it, time to use it. So, I'm doing that again. This time it's going to be a longer than a weekend trip to visit family. So we're going to be down in Florida. I'm not going to say exactly where yet, but I will have pictures, and I will probably have a couple of videos maybe up when we leave, or while we're there. So that'll be good. And then I am definitely taking a lot of pictures to scrapbook, and maybe I will go through some of the pictures when I get them printed. But I've got, like, I have a binder. It's way over there. It's on the bookshelf right now because there's nothing I can do in it. And it's just going to stress me out having it up next to me. But in my booklet, I have, our travel plans. I have I have all of the destinations that we need, like all the addresses and the destinations we need and how much everything's going to cost for that. Like for our hotel and everything. And then I have like what we need to pack. I have what bags we're going to take, what goes in each bag, and all of that. I have a list of every single day that we're there. I have an overview of every single day that we're there, and then I have the outfits for those days. So like for our travel days and for when we go to the beach and things of that nature, and just all that kind of stuff. I have all those planned out so that I know that we have enough clothes, so that I know what things will be worn, and what not to wear so that we can have them pack up. So I have all that, and then I have like our souvenirs list of what we're going to get there, or not what we're going to get, but who we're going to get for. I also have like a little picnic list I have, because we're wanting to do a picnic on the beach. So we're going to go to the beach and have a picnic, just Alex and I, and yeah, so I have all of these things mapped out, and I have all of these things planned, and I've got a separate list of everything that I'm going to need for the vacation that I still don't have yet. Some of it I've incorporated into our grocery list or our shopping list for this week, for like our normal shopping trip, just so that I can get a lot of them knocked out. And then I have like several different lists of that, and then I have, each of our bags has their own little setup, and what all's going in the car, what all's getting packed in the car, and things of that nature. So, like, I have everything mapped out and planned out. It's just a matter of getting those lists, put into physical, like, how do I say this? It's just a matter of getting the lists. Sorry, you guys. It's kind of hard to keep this. Anyway, so it's just a matter of getting all of those lists to translate into actual objects and getting them put into the truck to go when the time comes. So, and it's just going to take time, and it's going to take extra budgeting around to get to, and so we're just going to have to deal with it and go with the punches and just roll with it at this point. So, and I've done everything I can. I have to keep reassuring myself, I have done everything I can that is within my power. Everything's budgeted for, everything's listed out, everything is, organized and diagrammed, and, there's no more, I can't be any more prepared than I already am, without actually having the stuff with me, the stuff that's on the lists that we still need to buy in order to pack. I can't just go out there without money and get them, so like there's all of that, and I'm as prepared as I can be, but at the same time I'm still not fully prepared for everything. So I'm just trying to reassure myself, if that makes sense. I have to reassure myself that you've done everything that you can. Everything is done. Everything is budgeted for that you need to be budgeted for. You did good, Alice. You've done everything you can. There's no more you can do. You've done all of your listing. You know exactly what you need. You know exactly what you don't need. You know exactly where you're going to get what. You've done your research. You've done your budgeting. You've done everything you can. Without purchases, you've done everything. And you'll be able to purchase some of the stuff this weekend. And for the stuff that you don't, you'll be able to get in the next paycheck. So, I'm just having to sit here and think, I've got everything. Everything's written down. I'm not forgetting anything. There's nothing else we need. There's no more preparedness that we can have. Everything that I need to pack needs to be purchased, or most everything else that I need to pack needs to be purchased. Because I don't live anywhere near a beach, and I'm not beach ready yet. I haven't gotten a lot of my stuff ready, but I will be. There's some things that I can get this week when I go to Walmart, and I can get more things, Excuse me. So I'm just having to sit here and say, you know what? Everything is good. You're good. You did everything. Everything's planned. Everything's budgeted. You know exactly how much everything is going to cost. Everything is going to be fine. You are thoroughly prepared. You freaked out about your wedding, yet everything for the wedding, I was able to let go of, my tables. We had tables set up around the venue, because we had a little buffet / free-for-all kind of a thing going on. We had little hors d'oeuvres and things for foods, and so I had made baskets for each table. I had made diagrams for each table. I had made a floor plan for the entire floor. I had everything in each basket, and every basket was at its table, so I could, and I'm like, this is what I want it to look like. We set it up exactly how I wanted, and I was able to just give Alexander's uncle and aunt my basket. I said, this is the diagram, this is what's happening, this is where it is, this is how I want it. And they were able to get the venue finished setting up while I was able to go get ready and, go get pictures taken and with my bridesmaids and everything, and we were done 30 minutes before the ceremony started. And I was still anxious. I was very anxious. I was ready to see everything come to life. And everything was perfect. Everything was great. I mean, I sprained my ankle a little. And the cake was kind of melted. And my music was kind of off, but not bad. Like, it was just time for next one. And my brother was my DJ, and he's not a professional DJ. He was just my little brother, and that was his wedding gift to me, was to be able to do the music. All I had to do was give him the music, and he just played it. Everything was fine. Everything was good. Everything looked good. Everybody was fine. There was no big dramas. Nothing happened. There was honestly the most minor things I mean, I tore my dress a hair, but I had super glue, and it was only like part of the decoration on it. It kind of ripped a little, but it was fine. Nobody knew. And so it was just one of those things where I had been over prepared so that nothing else could go wrong. I couldn't control the weather. I couldn't control the music because I didn't have any idea how fast people were going to walk. So we did that, and I tripped taking bridal pictures. There was one of the barriers had the concrete barriers for the handicap spots. Well, behind there was a little dip, and I stepped into the dip and I twisted my ankle. It didn't swell up until after I got home from my honeymoon. Granted, I only went for one night, and we didn't go very far. Anyway, so the whole thing was like the most minor things happened, and nothing was ruined, and nothing was not prepared for. And granted, yeah, falling was not prepared for. But everything else was fine. Nothing else was freaking me out. Nothing. There was nothing else that I needed to prepare for. And everything went fine. Yes, my mind was racing. Like, does this look good? Did everything, and everybody had the best time. Even the grouchiest person in the room had a great time and only had one complaint, and that was it. And it wasn't even about the wedding itself. It was about a guest at the wedding, So, and it was no big deal. So Alex and I got married, and we went on our honeymoon, and we came back. And yeah, so this will be our third hotel stay together since we've been married. So yeah. We'll have been married 3 years in July. Wow, I can't even remember my wedding date. In July, we'll have been married 3 years. Everything's going to be great. Everything was great for the wedding. Everything's going to be great for this trip. It's just going to be on a delayed schedule. And I'm just going to have to purchase things sooner than when I was originally planning on it. So that's just it. I'm gonna have to work it into paychecks that I didn't think I was gonna have to use. So I'm just gonna have to work those in, and that's where that's gonna be. Can't control that. And I mean, I've already done a great job. I already know how much we're spending this paycheck, and I already know what all is happening for the trip. I have a separate list of outstanding things that we need and outstanding things I have a list for what I'm going to purchase the next paycheck. I already have stuff I'm going to purchase for this paycheck as far as the vacation is concerned. I have the overall list of things that are still outstanding for the vacation. As far as purchased items to pack are concerned. Or purchasing items to pack. And then I have the one list that's integrated with my grocery list for this paycheck. And then I have the one that has the rest of the items on the next paycheck list, so that those are budgeted for and budgeted in for the next paycheck, so that everything gets purchased, so that by the time the delayed paycheck hits, I won't have to worry about buying extra things with it before the trip, and I can just basically use that as my trip money. My hair's doing something weird. It looks like, I don't know if you guys can tell, not. Maybe no, maybe you can. I don't know if you can tell. But this section, for some reason, you gotta hold it like that. You can tell a little bit, but it's a little bit lighter here than the rest of my hair. So, anyway, I have been rambling for like 30 minutes, and I am just, at this point, it's just me trying to reassure myself that everything is good and that I have over-prepared and over-prepared and over-prepared and not under-prepared. And so it's just one of those things that I've got to trust myself and trust my own OCD, my own preparedness. I just have to trust that I've done everything. I've got to trust that everything is done. And it's hard for me to trust that everything is good when not everything is in front of my face. So if it's not sitting in front of me, getting packed into a bag or getting organized into a section, then it's not done. That's how my mind views it. You can ask my sister. We went over the baskets for the wedding at least 5 to 10 times that night, the night before. And then the next morning, I still did, I did an everything this morning search, like everything, all of the bags search and all the boxes search. I did that, and then as I was handing them up to be put in the car, I was still checking, making sure, okay, this needs to go with that, that needs to go with that, that needs to go with here, this decor needs to go with this container, and I was still sitting there double checking myself as I'm handing them up to be put in the car. So, and that was the morning of the wedding. Did I sleep well? No. Did I hardly sleep at all? Basically. I slept maybe 3 hours, maybe, that morning, before we had to get up and go. So I was just sitting there, like, rushing. Like, I was thinking. I was sitting up thinking, what if? What happens? What's gonna happen? Do I have everything? And I did, and everything was fine. Everything within my stuff was perfect. Everything that I had control over was fine. I didn't have control over my brother's DJ skills. I didn't have control over the dip in the thing. I didn't have control over the weather. None of that mattered. Everything was beautiful. The pictures came out beautiful. Everything was perfect. We still got married at the end of the day. We still had fun. And, everything that I had planned for was fine. There was nothing that I needed to worry about. But did I still worry? Absolutely. And that's how I am right now. I am worrying, and I am stressing, and I am trying to get things to work. When there's nothing for me to work out. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. And I'm sitting here trying to tell myself that. And I'm trying to say, look, you've got everything. Your lists are done. Your planning is done. Your budgeting is done. Everything that you can do right now, Alice, is done. You cannot do anything further. How are you going to do anything further if you don't have this or that? You can't. You physically cannot do anything until you have the purchased items. Once you have the purchased items, then you can put them away. And so, excuse me. It's just one of those things where I know that I have done everything, and I have listed everything, and I have prepared for everything. And now it's just a matter of budgeting, buying. Budgeting, buying. That's it. Budgeting for it, buying it, and making sure we have money for the trip. That's it. And as soon as this week is done, I will have more of my stuff. And I will only have a few more items left, and I will be so thankful for that. You know, I am ready for this trip. I am ready to get things done for this trip. I am ready to buy things. And that's why I like to be prepared months and months and months in advance. You know, I like to have our wedding, as soon as we set a date, everything was hashed out within, I want to say, at max, maybe a month. Because I'd been planning my whole life for my wedding. I mean, you ladies, you know, you plan your wedding a million times over. Depending on what guy you're going to marry, you know. And so, you know, once we had a wedding date set, everything was just like, this is what I want, that's how I want it, and this is where it's going to go, you know. And we did it. That's how we did it, was we planned everything out months in advance. It was planned within a month, and it just was a matter of getting the funds to purchase. My wedding was planned 10 months in advance. So we set the date, we started hashing out details, we started budgeting, we were done. I knew exactly what I wanted, I knew exactly how I wanted it, and within a month, everything, all the details themselves were hashed out. All the diagrams, all the plans, everything was hashed out. Now it was just time to make them happen. And I couldn't make them happen on my time because it wasn't my money. It was my parents' money. They paid for my wedding. So I had to sit there and I had to wait until this came in or that came in or whatever. So I was able to get everything I needed and everything I wanted. You know, I was able to budget all of my stuff. I had a spreadsheet, everything. So I had everything planned out months and months in advance. I had diagrams planned out in advance. You know, everything that I needed, I did in advance. And it was just so much easier to have the exact price in mind, you know, so that you knew that you weren't overspending on your budget. It was so much easier to know what you wanted, have the exact image of what you wanted with the exact price, budget it into your overall budget. And that's exactly what I'm doing with our budget, you know. Yes, I'm piecing it out piece by piece by paycheck, but, you know, everything is just getting placed in and out. And so I'm sure there are things that I have on my list for, excuse me, I had to take some ibuprofen 800 earlier, and now it's hitting. So, but I'm sure there are things that I have on my vacation packing list that I haven't purchased yet that I might be able to get this paycheck and not have to worry about the next paycheck. You know, and the more I can cross off my list this week, the less I'll have to get the next week, and the less I'll have to worry about the delayed paycheck. You know? And so, you know, and that's just where I am at this point. It's, you know, it doesn't matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. You know, I haven't stopped getting things, and we're just over a month away from leaving, you know. So we're just over a month away from leaving to go visit family in Florida, and then we will be we'll be there and we'll be having fun, and as soon as I get enough money to get the stuff, I'm going to get it, we're going to pack it, and we're going to go, and we're going to have a great time, we're going to have fun. So, and I will be posting pictures from Florida, and I'll try to put videos. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. We'll see. Anyway, now that I've rambled for 40 minutes, I'm getting tired from the medicine, and I have had a rough day already. Obviously I've had a rough month. And I think I just needed a vent session. So, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to become part of the family. And remember that I love you, love bugs.